welcome back to another episode of Figures in Action. And today's offering to the Dial Gods is this somewhat of a replica of the pork store that is featured in The Sopranos. I believe it's pronounced Satriales, I believe. Was contacted by a person who has actually been following my page and my YouTube for years now. Actually, always hits me off with some awesome compliments, and somebody I've over the years you kind of you start to know these names just because they're always present. They're always saying how much they like your work and so forth and so on. So it was kind of cool to have him contact me and say, "Dude, I want to dial." And that's always kind of cool, just because, again, here you have this person who for all these years is leaving comments and liking the work that you do, and all of a sudden they want some work. So it's really cool for them to kind of pull the trigger. So he wanted a this is kind of a cool, interesting. Okay, so he wanted a 1/12 scale replica of the storefront for Satriale's pork store. So originally we spoke, and based on his budget, I gave him a size, right? And I said, okay, so this is what I can do. This is the size I can do. The thing is, when I sat down and started kind of cutting, or when I cut it to size, it was an inch shorter, and it was like, dude, like, let me see if you can see. You can kind of see it here a little bit. So this whole part is added. So it was like from my finger to the end, and there was no way I was going to be able to fit in any type of windows and doors enough to make it look or try to replicate it. This actually stretches out more. There's another door and another set of 3 windows, I believe. But then that would have brought this. It's already, so I had to go 24 inches long and 13.5 inches tall. If I would have went all the way across, we would have been looking at 36 plus inches long, which would have just created almost double the work, and therefore I would have to have doubled up on my charges, and so I didn't want to do that. So I said, let me just try to figure out what I can do here and just add a little bit more, not price it any higher, but just kind of roll with that. So yeah, so this whole part was an extension, and you can see it on the back where the seam is at. Told him I'd create the table that the Sopranos cast sits on, and 2 chairs. The other chair is back there somewhere, but wanted to just bring one of the chairs out. All right, real quick, how did we create this? So, first and foremost, installation foam board for both, all the way across. This is just basswood here. These are actually working doors, basswood on the window as well. These are just pretty much found on the internet, cut to size. The red that you see here on the windows pretty much is just me painting the other side of the window. So although it kind of looks glossy and shiny on this side, you can see the inconsistency of what paint would look like when you slide it on a smooth surface like a window glass, plastic, anything that's really smooth. So was able to do that and frame it out with the basswood as well. And I used some of the chrome paint that I've been using. It came out pretty good. I was able to rock out some of those little vents. So there's just printouts from Mini. I always forget the name of the website. The Mini, where they have kind of all the signage is miniprint.com, I believe is what it is. This was the most difficult thing to create, man. What a pain. So this is just the cardboard that I usually use for a lot of the other dials that I've created. And then what I had to do is I had to somehow find this logo along with the pork and the beef silhouettes at the same color as they are on the actual signage, which is not easy. So this ended up being just yellow paper that I printed on. Kind of the stock was a little bit thicker. Same thing here. This was just regular white paper. I had to basically print this out and then cut it out with X-Acto blades, which is not an easy thing to do, especially when you go around the round corners. These are vinyl letters, so that wasn't too difficult. Same thing here with the yellow. Framed by basswood, and then what I did is I sprayed it with the Elmer's adhesive spray glue, and I gave it a couple times because this is a couple sprays, just because I didn't want any of the signage, any of the letters to come out of the signage. I was able to find a pig that I can put at the top of this pork store, as it is in the Sopranos series. And what else can I say? Sidewalk. Made some couple cracks here and there. Gave it kind of that no parking. Usually when you see this in front of a sidewalk, that means you can't park there. So kind of gave it that. And then just put that espresso sign. It's usually the sign, or the sign that's on the show is more of a kind of a LED type of that light. It's you know, lights pretty much forming the letters. I couldn't create that, so I just created some black paper that I have and added blue paint marker, and it kind of gives it a little bit of that glow. You can't see it as well on the camera. Alright, so it ended up being 24 inches across, ended up being 13.5 inches tall. I believe it's 11 or 12 inches deep. Also added, last minute kind of added this sidewall, which if you look at most of the reference pictures, this is the color of the building that continues that way, and it's a little bit taller than what this is. Yeah, that's pretty much it. We have working doors. The way I created the working doors is toothpick basically on all four corners, and then that basically kind of, I did the Dremel thing and I glued into a skinny stick, and then put the skinny stick down there. And this little piece is just foam, a foam sheet piece that I painted in silver. This is just furnished from the dollar store. I actually had to take this table and extend it, make it a little bit taller, just because they usually come shorter than 1/12 scale. So wanted to kind of make that tall, so I just made it tall enough so now when if a character sits underneath, he'll fit comfortably sitting in that chair and underneath the table. I think that's all I got to say. Check out the pictures at the end. Questions, comments, feel free. Oh, and I just kind of created that little stand for him to stand on, and that's removable. This is magnetized. It all comes apart. Alright, y'all, and that is it. And I'm out. Peace.